Right, so it's Easter Monday today, and I have 4 kids at home harked up on chocolate, so I've decided to come out and take some photographs. Come and join me. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video here at Benham Media. My name is Nathan. It's an absolute pleasure to see all you here today. So, yeah, it is Easter Monday, and you know, I've left my kids at home with my missus to endure the sort of like chocolate hype. But I'm only going to do about an hour's worth of shooting around my area because A, I miss taking photographs, and B, I need to do a video. Really, it's that simple. So I can't really go out into central London at the moment because the kids are off school. It's a little bit unfair to leave a pregnant mother alone with so many children. So I'm only going to do a quick little shoot out of my local area, but also to show you that you don't need to live by a major city to still be quite creative within your street photography. And I'm going to show that with you today. Now I've only got this camera out with me, so I've not got like an extra camera. So it'll pretty much be speaking to you guys, and then a couple of shots come up on screen in between the sort of takes. So I hope that's okay. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it sort of inspires you to sort of like go out into your local area and take some shots. Because like I said, like, you don't need to live in a beautiful location or quite close to a major city or anything like that to perfect your sort of like your street photography eye or anything like that. Because quite frankly, the only way that you get better at street photography is if you actually go out and take street photography. And it's that simple, right? Just practice with your camera, take it out, enjoy yourself. Now, I will probably say out of the several photographs that I will probably take today, I will probably only like around about a third of them, and I will only post a third of them. So they don't all need to be bangers. They don't all need to be perfect. It's okay to take a couple, look them on the back of your screen, think they might be okay. Because one thing I have also learned, that even when I look at the photograph on the back of my camera, once I've taken it into Lightroom or even Photoshop, I can sort of do something with the editing process. So let's, at the moment, go out and take some photographs. I'm currently on top of the sort of the precinct area of my area. So all below me are all the shops. I'm gonna take some nice little photographs down there because there's some wonderful symmetry going on down there. But I've got some flats up here, and I've got some different sort of like scenarios that we're gonna go through. So let's start trying to see if we can sort of like train our eye a little bit. So yeah, let's go take some photos. Now, one thing I will say when you are out and about taking street photography is that don't worry if your first few photographs aren't necessarily up to your own standard. Like, I know we all have our own standard, and you know, I know that the type of photographs that we do take, you do worry about what other people think of it. Now, your first few photographs probably won't be brilliant. And I say that from experience because I know that it takes me roughly around about an hour, or it takes me about 5 or 10 photographs to really get the sort of like the contrast in my eye, to sort of understand what I'm shooting for. So don't worry too much about it. If when you're taking your photographs and you're trying your own skills out, don't worry if the first few aren't up to scratch, because eventually you'll start seeing things a little bit differently and you'll start noticing things. So yeah, don't panic, really. Just shoot. That's one thing about a digital camera. Like, you seem to have potentially an unlimited amount of photographs that you can take because you're not worried about running out of film. So just grab your camera, go out, take some photographs. If they're not any good, then don't show them to anybody. Like, who's missing out? But I can guarantee you, after a while, they'll start becoming better. Just remember that. Also, when you're out and about, try looking for things like with symmetry and sort of leading lines. I've just found this wonderful walkway which leads into our parking garage. And as you can see, got the shadows sort of along the floor leading us to the far door. And then because it's all sort of closed in with these sort of grates either side as well. Like, there's some fantastic symmetry, sort of just going all the way down to the end. And you've got these wonderful leading lines that you can do along the rails as well. They sort of lead all the way to the far end as well. So that's something else you can look at when you're taking your own street photography, is sort of leading lines, reflections, as well as obviously you've got the other side of it when you're trying to take photographs of actual life, people doing stuff and whatnot. So yeah, they're pretty cool things. I've just walked in here, it's very echoey. I'm gonna go down to the precinct now and see if some people would let me take photographs of them. So let's head down the stairs. Right, so these next few shots are pretty cool actually, because I ended up sort of going around sort of the shops just downstairs where I last was. And you know, there's some really nice businesses and really nice people. And sort of like, I asked them permission to take photographs of them, of course, because it's always good to ask permission. Yes, sometimes within street photography, you don't need to, especially when they're out and about. But if you want to take business, shots of them at their business or anything like that, it's always good to sort of give them an ask. And you'll be surprised, 9 times out of 10, they say yes. You get the old one who's a bit camera shy, don't really want to do it. But yeah, just don't be afraid to sort of ask permission. Because also as well, there's a noodle shop just around the corner here, which you'll see in the next load of photographs. And you know, they're interested in my work. They've just signed me up on Instagram. I've taken their Instagram account as well, so I can tag them in my photographs. And yeah, it's just sort of a nice way of building within your community as well, and a nice way of sort of building your sort of followers list and anything like that. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask. You know, what's the worst they can do? Say no? Doesn't hurt your feelings, does it? You know, they're not calling you a bad photographer, they just don't want their photograph taken. So yeah, feel free to crack on with that. You know, sometimes when you go walking about as well, you find some really, really cool locations. Now, I always knew that this parking garage was here, but I've never actually been inside it before. And I think it's a great opportunity to take some sneaky, cheeky little selfies. Just sort of using sort of the row of the cars as that sort of like poor line of focus, you know, the straight lines, the leading lines, all these things that photographers talk about when they're taking photographs. And yeah, so, you know, you find some half decent locations knocking about as well. Just make sure you don't get hit by a car, all right? That's important. Worried about the whole mask thing, I thought I'll show it in this shop. I am wearing my mask. But that has actually had to come to the end of my day, because something else that you will find out whilst you're doing street photography is that sometimes you do get stopped by security and they ask you for permits. And do you know what? If you don't have a permit, you just got to hold your hands up and go, you know, I'm doing it from Instagram, is that okay? All that sort of stuff, and they don't usually matter. They'll ask you what company you work for, anything like that. Unfortunately, I have now been stopped by security because I don't have a permit or I don't have permission to shoot within my shopping centre. But apparently if I come and speak to the local office, which is open tomorrow, because today is in fact Easter Monday, I might just get like a general, yeah, it's okay as long as you get permission from people who you're taking photographs of, which is what I've been doing today. That is pretty much what I've done. If I had to take a photograph of someone's shop or somebody in the shop or someone doing that, I've asked them, said, do you mind? And they've gone, yes, I've taken some nice photographs. And like I explained earlier on in the video, that, you know, I've connected with them by showing them my Instagram and so on and so forth. But quite frankly, there's no point arguing with these type of things. You know, they're doing their job and you're just trying to do your job. So there's no point trying to get all sort of like, oh, well, you know, it's not fair, freedom of speech and all that, because it's not. If it's private property, it's private property. And within cities, especially within cities, you know, a lot of this stuff is owned by sort of particular companies and anything like that. So you do potentially might need permission to photograph. So that's going to have to be the end of this particular video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed some of the photographs. By the looks of it, it's going to be quite small. But if you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button just down there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with all the videos that I produce here on the channel. But until next time, I've been Nathan. You've been sensational. Thank you and goodbye. Mwah, 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 mwah.